Hey ladies, I'm Tracy Pinnock, the Better Coach, and welcome to my YouTube channel, where I help women move from feeling bitter to better after breakups, date better the next time around, and generally protect their peace in spite of all of life's ups and downs. I'm glad you're here, and let's get into it. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 4 dating mistakes that women make all too often and how these mistakes hinder your dating process. Be sure to watch until the end to hear how you can stop making these mistakes and to find out what you can do instead in order to have a more enjoyable dating experience. Also, don't forget to subscribe in order to get notifications when new videos go live. I'm the first to admit that dating can be frustrating and exhausting. I'm also the first to admit that it can be fun, or at least more enjoyable. The 4 mistakes that I'm going to share with you today tend to complicate the dating process and contribute to the types of dating experiences that so many people dread. Avoiding these mistakes can change your dating experience for the better. Mistake number 1, getting exclusive too soon. This, of course, brings up the rotational dating conversation. And the truth of the matter is, it's not a comfortable thing for everyone. And I'm not even saying that everyone needs to do it. I am saying that there are risks to getting too invested in one person too quickly. This investment is an investment of your time, your energy, and your emotions. It can hinder your dating process because you're really not sure if you'll get a return on your investment. The investment of your resources, of time and energy and emotion. So the idea is that you are talking to a couple of people at one time. Really, the idea is don't suddenly stop talking to people of interest because someone else rolls into your DMs. You want to take time to get to know this person and to vet them before you start cutting off other potential candidates. I've used this analogy before. It's like hiring someone for a job position. You don't just take the first person who walks into the door and then shut everybody else out. Or you don't just cut off the people you were already interviewing and vetting because somebody new walks in the door. You want to give everyone kind of their fair share, their fair chance. And this also helps you to preserve yourself and your resources. Mistake number 2, not knowing what you want. This is a problem because if you don't stand for something, you can fall for anything, sort of thing. You definitely want to know what you're looking for in a relationship and a partner, and quite frankly, in your dating experience before you go out and start dating. Now, of course, the process of dating helps you to get experience in order to better hone in on what you want and don't want. So this is a constant learning process. But you definitely want to go out there with some general standards. So it's really important to not make the mistake of just kind of not knowing what it is you're really looking for. You really want to sit down with yourself and ask yourself questions to determine what you're looking for in the dating experience, first of all, and then in what you would like a relationship to look like, and in what type of partner would help you to have that type of relationship. Mistake number 3, going with the flow. Now, this can be for a number of reasons. People can have had bad dating experiences and kind of have lower expectations because of that. People can have fear of rejection, so feeling like they just have to go with whatever the other person's doing so that that person will continue to have them and accept them. And also, this can be connected to the previous mistake of not knowing what you want. So you're just kind of like, I'm going to figure it out and see whatever and go with whatever this person does. This is a mistake because going with the flow, traveling down the lazy river can have you miles down that river and realizing you're not in a place that you want to be in. So do not just go with the flow. By all means, find balance. Don't be somebody who is completely rigid and, does not give people a chance, because then, yes, you're just going to cut out potentially good candidates. But also, don't just kind of like, I'm going to figure it out or see what happens, because oftentimes this is exactly what gets people into situations that they come to realize they're not happy with. And the 4th mistake is not defining the relationship. Yep, I said it. Put a label on it, okay? Put some respect on its name. I might have to cut that part out. But my point here is you should label the nature of your relationship with any given person. Because outside of romantic relationships, you have a label for every other relationship in your life. You know who your family members are, your mother, your father, your cousin. You know this person's a coworker, this person's an acquaintance, this person's a friend, this person's a best friend, this person's a close friend, this person's a stranger, this person's my neighbor, this person is an employee at this store. There is a label and therefore an understanding with every relationship in your life. So why would there not be one for a romantic relationship? One of the most important relationships in your life. So you need to put a label on it, and the labels can range from a number of things. I like to think of relationships in 8 categories. So there's stranger, acquaintance, platonic friend, friend with benefits, someone who you are casually dating, someone who you are exclusively dating, and then a committed relationship. So I lied. That's 7 relationship categories. Come at me. My point here is that you can have any of these type of relationships with any given person. So when you're dating, oftentimes you're falling into the friends with benefits up to committed relationship categories. It is important to label these relationships because labels do help us form appropriate expectations. What you would expect from a platonic friend versus a friend with benefit is different. What you would expect from someone who you are in a committed relationship with would be different than someone who you have a casual dating relationship with. So it is actually very helpful and quite important to label your relationship with someone at any given point during the dating process. To not label these relationships leaves openings for misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and messiness. We want to have a general understanding of what to expect from one another in our dating process. Hey, if anything about this video has been helpful to you, I strongly encourage you to join my email list and get your free rotational dating texting templates. This PDF provides you with the best words for helping you navigate the dating process. What do you say when you first meet someone in DMs? How do you let someone down if you're no longer interested? Don't worry, girl, I got you. All you have to do is click the link in the video description. Now let's get back into it. Now that I've talked about what not to do, what should you do? Let's go back to mistake number 1, getting exclusive too soon. So what should you do to avoid this? You should first of all keep talking to whoever you're talking to in your DMs or your texts or on the phone when somebody else enters your space or your world. So don't just suddenly start drawing back from these other people if you are interested in them. Obviously, if it's showing itself to not be a relationship that you're interested in, and I'm using lowercase r, by the way, when I say relationship, so just a interaction between 2 people. So if you're talking to someone and it's, showing signs of being something that you're not interested in, then obviously, yes, you don't need to continue to entertain that. But if things are going well and somebody else comes in and you're getting really interested in them, there's no reason to just, choose right then and there who you're going to talk to. Instead, what is helpful to do is to go on a couple of casual dates with people. Meet up for coffee, take a walk in the park, go have a drink, something where there's an easy exit, but you get to get a read for one another because you really don't know until you are physically in the presence of someone else and you pick up on chemistry and things like this. So if you were chatting it up with somebody and then you meet someone else, right? The idea is that you would go on a date with both of them. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's really to your benefit so that you can vet and sort and sift and compare and get an understanding and a feel for what you do and don't like. So the answer to not getting exclusive too soon is to go on casual dates with people. I want to be clear. This is not suggesting that you seriously date multiple people. This is not having the exclusivity conversation with 2 people and then living a double life. No. This is at the casual level of dating. Remember those relationship categories. So when casually dating, you can casually date multiple people. So do it. I want to be clear. This is not me putting out the proclamation of keep a roster, keep a roster. I think that can absolutely be great for a number of people. But what I'm saying here is I'm not talking about building the roster. I'm just talking about not cutting people off who you might already be engaging in simply because somebody else comes into the picture. What you want to do is maintain those relationships at a casual level as you vet these people and start to determine who you would want to get more exclusive with. So in reference to mistake number 2, not knowing what you want, how do you handle this? I always like to start out with an ideal partner list. So this is where you list all the qualities and traits of the person who you imagine would be ideal for you. The prompt that I like to give clients is to say, imagine you had a magic wand, you could wave that wand, and the ideal person for you appeared. What would be their physical qualities, their behaviors, their personality traits, their life circumstances, and just make a list. So you are listing everything from the obvious things like respectful and kind up to things that are more specific to you. And then there's a process that you walk yourself through to really hone in on what your preferences and deal breakers are and stuff like that. And I can definitely do a video on that. So if you're interested, definitely let me know in the comments, because there's a process that I like to walk people through as to how to really use this list to your benefit and to make it most effective. But the way that you help yourself avoid not knowing what you want is to actually ask yourself what you want and be very deliberate about it. Write it down and get very clear on what you're looking for. Because then you use this ideal partner list as you are meeting people in order to see who's checking off what on the list, and then to help yourself determine who to give your time and energy to. You might meet someone and start to determine they're really not checking off enough things on your list, and so maybe they are a platonic friend, or maybe there's somebody who you cut off completely, or maybe you decide there's someone who you should invest more time and energy in a romantic way. To mistake number 3, going with the flow. This brings in that ideal partner list, because once you've determined what you're looking for, what you want and what you don't want, then you can really start using that list to vet people and not just go with the flow. If someone's leading you down this path on a lazy river and you don't want to go that way, then don't. Instead, you can take more control over your dating experience. You can empower yourself to put up with the things that you want to put up with and not put up with the things that you don't want to put up with. To lean into the things that are suiting you in this dating relationship and to step away from the things that are not. And oftentimes this means no longer dating the person, and that's fine. That's the way this goes. So do not fall into the trap of just going down that lazy river with someone when you're looking at this ideal partner list and realizing they're not checking off half the things on the list. This ends well for no one. And this is one of the things that can easily lead you down a path of frustration and exhaustion and bitterness in the dating process, because you are making yourself available for things that really do not serve you. Mistake number 4, not defining the relationship. The dreaded, what are we question that people want to avoid, that women in particular are very weary of asking. And this is understandable, because quite frankly, I don't ask the question, what are we? Instead, I start to determine for myself what relationship category this dating relationship falls into right now, and what relationship category I currently feel like I want it to fall into. And then I date the person in that way and have conversations with them around this. So for instance, meeting someone on a first date and them asking, how's your dating experience going? I'm honest about the fact that, it's going well. I've, gone on dates with, a few people, and I'm dating casually in order to determine who I might want to date exclusively. I'm making it very clear that I am dating multiple people at this stage. Therefore, this thing that we currently have is a casual dating relationship. Obviously, it's the first date, so it should be a casual dating relationship. But even if we're a few dates in, I want to be clear about the fact that I'm sorting and sifting and vetting. So this is a casual dating relationship. When you want to go to exclusively dating someone, there needs to be a conversation. There needs to be a conversation.
There needs to be a conversation.
So there needs to be understanding and agreement between the two people that we are only dating one another. That means only going on dates with one another. And this is still a stage before a committed relationship, because with a committed relationship, the idea is that we're joining our lives together for the future in some way. Some people are moving in together, some people are having kids, some people are getting married. some people are joining finances more, and some people, or in any of these cases, regardless of like the concrete physical things that you're doing, your mindset is that this person is going with me into my future when we're at committed relationship status. But exclusively dating isn't necessarily committing at this point to we're trying to build a future together, but it is committing to we're focusing just on one another in this dating process. That needs to be made very clear in mature adult conversations so that everyone knows what's going on and everything is on the up and up. This is a step that is so often skipped over, and it leads to a lot of problems. So you do need to label the relationship, even if that relationship is friends with benefits or casual dating, or this is a platonic situation. There's still a label. It helps everyone to be more clear on what to expect. And it allows everyone to make informed decisions about what they want to do in this process. Maybe someone doesn't want to be your platonic friend, and it allows them to remove themselves. Maybe you want something more, and that person isn't able to or interested in giving you that. It allows you to remove yourself from this process. But this is all a part of the sorting and sifting and vetting process of dating. And this is how you help to keep it as clean as possible. Doesn't mean it's always fun, but it's much more fun than going down that lazy river or not being honest with yourself or someone else and getting to a point where feelings are more involved or life circumstances are more tied together and somebody or both people realizes it just ain't right. All right, those are 4 dating mistakes that women often make, how it hinders your dating process, and what you can do to avoid these mistakes. Let me know if there are other mistakes that you've come across in the dating process. And also let me know in the comments if you want more specific videos on some of the topics I brought up, such as the ideal partner list. All right, see you soon. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click the link to join my email list. See you soon.